Hey everybody, Grant Maddock here with Cryptonaires. I'm happy to have with me Stephen from Weave Financial. We're going to be doing an AMA today to talk about his project, when it launches, and everything we need to know moving forward. Just a quick disclaimer, anything that is talked about here today is not financial advice. We do these AMAs to learn as much information as possible about a project. We're not endorsing any project, although we are partners with Weave Financial. We're not endorsing any project or advising you to invest in their project. We are merely just providing you information so you can make your best decision whether you're going to invest or not. And without further ado, let's talk to Stephen. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about Weave Financial?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'm Stephen, the CEO of Weave. I've sort of a bit about myself. So my background in DeFi, I got involved in DeFi, looking to earn better interest on my cash. So originally with stablecoins, and that took me over to the auto farm community at the start of the year, and I worked my way up in that community and got various support roles, and then was on the community manager team. So that was really invaluable there. It's also where I met a few of the other team members as well. And then we from that, we decided to start Weave, and with Weave, we basically want to just bring a solution along to help people really be comfortable with investing in DeFi, and allowing a really powerful platform, a hub for both experienced yield farmers and also new users who want to learn at the same time and manage their risk very effectively and sort of gradually bring themselves into the DeFi space with their investments. And I think that shows our slogan is bringing DeFi to the masses. And we take that really seriously, and we really want to press that out with everything we do. And that's kind of a brief introduction there. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's pretty interesting here in crypto in general, especially now. I think it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. A lot more people are getting involved, and it still has its difficulties, right, with onboarding. It still has the issues, even with central exchanges, even for just people in general to do, to invest in cryptos. And DeFi is a whole nother space, a whole nother animal. And I think you guys do have something special that you're building, and you have a very ambitious roadmap. I've looked at it, and I think you're a little early on some things, or you're hitting your targets a little bit early. Can you talk a little bit about Weave and its roadmap?
Yeah, sure. So what we're doing with Weave is we're basically going to prepare our product for our passive users by introducing the platform to more experienced users at first. So I'll talk a little bit about the two different sides. So we've got Weave Pro, which is basically a drag and drop tool, and this will allow people to create various DeFi strategies, whether they're using LPs, so liquidity pools, whether they're doing single staking. It will allow them to create a strategy, and basically they'll be able to take the rewards from different vaults or from platforms that we plug into our platform, whether we're officially partnered with them or not. And they'll be able to take each reward percentage, whatever they want, really, from that. So, for example, 50% they could also compound back into the vault, and 50% they could move on to another token type. So, for example, if they're in a risky token, and they can take some profit and convert that to a stable coin, and then sort of that's the general thing what we're going to do there. I think a question we've got a lot on that side as well is how are we going to get people, how are we going to reward them? And there's a lot of people who have asked what percentage of the rewards will be in the Weave token. So we really want our token to be successful for our local community, and of course it will decide the platform success as well to an extent. But we're really not going to limit how people use that Weave token. There's going to be inherent use cases that we're going to implement over time with it, but I think we really want the platform to speak for itself rather than forcing people to use our token. Whereas we really want the people to use it who see the value in our products and see our vision long term as well. But yeah, going back to the two different sides of the product, these strategies that the pro users create, they have an option to allow we passive users to copy that, and basically through doing that, a passive user will basically have their own smart contract, and they will be able to select a strategy that will be within an individual smart contract, so it's nicely partitioned. And yeah, that they'll select that and take that based on the risk level that they want to get involved with, really. So on the Weave passive side, there's going to be a big list of strategies, hopefully, where people will be able to choose one that they feel comfortable with. There's no obligation to invest a certain amount into that strategy currently. But yeah, moving to sort of to time frames for this. So at the start of January, we're hoping to launch the Weave Pro side, and then at the end of the month, January 2022, we're going to be launching the first open beta of the passive side as well. And then longer term with the roadmap as well, we're going to be going cross-chain, so allowing people to carry out and create strategies that will be across multiple chains, and hopefully this will, they'll be able to operate this from one chain. We're actually in discussions with a potential partner currently about something like this, so we can really bring in the expertise for different parts of the product rather than creating everything ourselves, perhaps if we don't need to, if someone is a specialist in that area.
Okay. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, because I do want to talk about partners, and we mentioned partners a few times, but let's go back to Weave Pro. I believe we were just discussing that for a second. What kind of onboarding will there be to qualify to be a pro user? Can anybody just provide, their investment strategies, or is there going to be some type of criteria for being a Weave Pro to have other investors follow what they're doing?
Yeah, so anyone will be able to create a strategy, and anyone can choose to share that with the passive users. But what we're going to be encouraging the pro users to do is to comment on basically something like a social feed on our site, and explain to the users that are following them, or potential followers, that they what they're doing with their strategy, why they're making certain moves, why they're investing in certain tokens, and then at the same time, passive users, when going into this, will be able to see how long that pro user has been with us, what kind of farms they're using as part of their strategy, and I think that's the main thing, to provide legitimacy as well. So we're not going to have to implement KYC, so know your customer, into the pro side, but we will encourage them to share their social media channels with the passive users, just to give them additional credibility, and I think that this will be really useful for a variety of different people who are planning on using the pro side, and also it gives overall a lot of confidence to the people on the passive side.
Okay, and so speaking of your social networking, social media, I know you have a Discord channel, you have Twitter. Will those Weave Pro users maybe get some type of designation in, say, the Discord, where people can reach out to them and have more of that social contact? Is that something that maybe you guys have thought about doing, to bring more people into your channel, to bring, the ability for investors to discuss with, that person that they're following, or group of people, or however it's going to be? Is that something that would, maybe benefit the community as well? Or is this all going to be based on the platform, on, the app, on the website and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think the performance will speak for itself with each of the strategies, and that is obviously the main factor. And if people are able to prove that over time, we did think about doing a sort of allowing messaging between the pro and the passive users, but at the same time, we decided to not do this because we feel that passive users, perhaps, if they have a vault that's not performing as well, or a strategy that's not performing as well as they would have liked it to or thought it may, perhaps based on the really high initial potential returns of that strategy, they may reach out to that pro user and really not treat them very nicely regarding that. So that won't be occurring either on the site or on Discord, but we will sort of on our Discord, and we already have that. We've got different channels for the different levels of experience. So for the Weave Pro users and the Weave passive users, and yeah, regarding that, the people that are sort of that are showing the most commitment to us, and whether that's answering user questions or suggesting new ideas and that sort of thing, they're going to be rewarded by being given a different community role, and that will eventually give them the chance to work with the team. So I think there's a variety of ways we can increase engagement, and this is one of the ways that we think people, the people that really care, will be able to come on board and help us build the products moving forward.
Yeah, and I agree. There are a lot of keyboard warriors out there that, and when you talk about investments and money, things can get pretty emotional. And yeah, you wouldn't want that on a site or maybe a social platform. So there are definitely the pros and cons, and maybe as we discussed, the cons outweigh the pros at this point. With engaging with the community, but even having their, encouraging their social media handles and things like that, there will be ways for people to reach out to them if they really, wanted to dox themselves in some fashion. So there's already Weave staking, though, right? And I say this because I'm doing it. But what utility is this providing? I know there's a lockup. I mean, I think it's 30 days or something along those lines, or maybe a little bit more. There's like a lock period before anything can get withdrawn. What utility is Weave staking providing for you guys currently?
Yeah, so this Weave staking, basically it's allowing our community members to put their money where their mouth is. Kind of that's an interesting way to say it, but it's allowing them to really, if they see a value in our platform, then it basically, if they stake their BUSD on the Binance Smart Chain, then they'll be able to earn Weave tokens as part of our early community reward scheme. So we've got 3.3 million tokens allocated to this, and the total time period is about 33 days. And actually, your funds aren't locked, so you can choose to do this for as short or long a period of time as you like during this early staking period. I think we've got around $3 million in that pool now, maybe just under. I haven't checked it today. I checked it yesterday, but we're really quite overwhelmed by that so far. So yeah, thank you to everyone from who's seen us in the Cryptonaires community, or one of our other AMAs, and sort of got involved with our community and with our app already. But yeah, at the end of this period, we'll give the option for people to withdraw their funds, or we're also, we are going to be starting the liquidity pool for Weave and BUSD as well. So we're thinking internally about the incentives that we'll be able to offer people here, and we obviously it's beneficial for us if we maintain that TVL. Because then we've got enough liquidity to launch the token with, and that'll provide a bit more stability there as well once the token is available for everyone's purchase on a decentralized exchange. That's kind of what we're aiming to do with the early staking. But like currently, we don't get any direct. Well, we're not doing anything with that money. That money is there because people have said we trust you, and we really want to reach out and we really want to invest in your product straight away and, see how the journey goes really. It's been really awesome so far.
Yeah, and if they take the time to research and they take the time to learn on your site and engage in the Discord or engage in communities like ours, Cryptonaires, there's a lot here, and it is a very innovative and I think well needed thing, project to have in crypto. We need more projects like this, and if this can get off the ground and start moving, it's going to bring more people the opportunity to invest, especially like you said, for those who may not understand or want to get involved. And they know, I mean, if we're being honest, DeFi is where a lot of the value in crypto is currently hidden, right? It's like the glacier. You always see the glacier of the internet, right? Where you have the glacier at the top, and then really at the bottom is where everything is at, and that's where all of the value of the internet is. It's under the water, and it's giant. That's DeFi. So using a platform like Weave to bring out all of those things and allowing the community to share it together, I think it's a really great project. And I think you brought up trust and community trust, and a lot of the ways that the community determines whether they can trust a project early on is with their partners. And you have at least listed on your site some pretty prestigious partners in the crypto space, some of them like Polygon or crypto.com. Are you able to discuss what kind of partnerships that you do have and what roles they're playing?
Yeah, sure. I will just add in as well on that for that last question as well about the staking on our app. On our YouTube channel, we've got a tutorial for people to enable them to learn how to stake on our platform. We've got several videos there, and I'll provide those to you later.
Okay.
So you can get them out to everyone. But yeah, back to partners. So I think, sort of starting a DeFi project, it was a crazy thing to do initially. And of course, we've got some contacts from our time working in other DeFi projects, such as Also Farm, as well as other ones that other team members have been involved in so far. But yeah, so explain some of our partnerships. So yeah, on our website, as you said, we've got Polygon listed as a partner, OEC, who's OKX Natives Chain, and of course you guys as well. You're now on there, which is really good. But yeah, with Polygon, and the other chains, so OEC, Heco, which is also Huobi, and Crypto.com, what we're doing with them is basically we're planning our launch on these chains. So for Crypto.com, it would be their Kronos chain that they recently launched. And what we're doing is we're basically just setting up a relationship with them. So we talk to their DeFi teams, and we ask them for various support with things like co-marketing and AMAs. I know, so I'll use Polygon as an example because they're the guys that we sort of started talking to first. And what we're doing with them is, we're sharing things on Twitter, that sort of thing. And what we're doing with Polygon currently internally is we've got a sort of a list and targets for projects we really like to partner with on the Polygon network. And what Polygon is doing is linking us up with potential partners. So I won't say any names, but we're reaching out to them, and we've opened discussions with a variety of insurance protocols that we could potentially integrate into our platform, as well as potential partners that we'll plug into our platform as well. And with Polygon, the one I mentioned earlier about a potential bridging solution. So I think with these chains, what we're doing is we're trying to look both short term and long term with the partnerships and really build up these solutions now to be as proactive as we can. So we're not in a rush to find some partner protocols when we launch on a new chain. So I know we've not announced it on every chain yet, but if you look at the partnership section of our website, you can see an idea of where we're going in terms of where we might have more firepower and more power when we launch on those networks. Yeah, we are, even though they're not on this website as well, because we're not officially partnered as yet, we're also in discussions with people like Avalanche. I know one of the business development guys over there. So that's a really exciting potential partnership, because I know they've exploded as well. And I think from our partnerships as well, you can see that we're really, we're focusing on low cost chains, because we know that we want to hand over the best experience and the most efficient experience to our end users. So in the last year or so, these new chains have opened up huge opportunities for so many projects, for sure, and so many users as well. It really allows, it prepares the way for a project like Weave to come in and capitalize on a gap in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. In the last 6 months, if we look at everything that has been going on with Polygon and awesome announcement there with Avalanche, so much is being created on those blockchains. So much value is being basically transferred into those blockchains. And I know personally a lot of people who have moved a good majority of their investments to Avalanche or Polygon, simply because, and we can be honest, the gas fees and the high cost of the Ethereum network. So, and that's awesome. And then you brought up the potential for bridging, I believe, and that application for, I suspect what you mean is for the Weave token, maybe some type of utilization by bridging onto those different blockchains, or were you describing something else in terms of?
No, so yeah, on our roadmap. So we've actually, I believe we've already got kind of a native Weave bridge set up from the start. So that's something that we'll be able to do internally. So we see that as a really empowering feature, because we know that any new chain that we launch on, especially if it's EVM compatible, our bridge will be ready like that. And that's really beneficial. But no, this in terms of the bridging we're looking at, and obviously it's on our roadmap as well, that will be bridging that's basically enabling tokens that are on one chain to then be moved across to another chain. And it's a really, really powerful solution. And initially we were expecting to have to do that, to create that tool ourselves and put our resources towards that. But no, so I think, from my understanding of it anyway, so it would basically allow you to bring a token across from one chain and pair it with something on another chain and rewards. So yeah, it's very powerful. I know our dev team is currently reviewing the technical side of it. I think that will be, by the time this video is out, we will have our review completed and we'll know whether we'll be able to partner with them on that. But yeah, I think, I'd encourage people watching this as well. And if you see something on our roadmap you think is interesting, then please do ask us more about it, because we're more than happy to do our best at answering any questions you guys have. We're not going to hide away, and we want to provide the most clarity we can on everything that we're talking about doing in the near future and also the longer term. Oh, sorry, I think you're muted.
Yep, I'm muted there. Yes. And where would be the best spot for somebody to reach out to you? Would it be the Discord channel? Would it be Twitter? I know you guys are active in Discord. Do you guys have a Telegram? Where would the, if people did have questions about the roadmap, where would be the best place to reach out?
Yeah, so I think with our team of mods that we've currently got, who also, they all do a variety of things within the team. So, we've got a variety of expertise there. My personal favorite is Discord. I know some people prefer Telegram, and that's why we have Telegram available. So either channel is absolutely fine. And we spotted a lot of community members who are being rewarded with new roles because they've already got involved and they're already learning and answering people's questions, and we really, really like to see that, and we want that to be the environment our server has. So really, no question is too silly, no question is a stupid question in our eyes. and we won't tolerate hostile behavior in our comms channels. But that's I'd say Discord or Telegram would be the best ways to reach out to us. We do have a support email as well, but I think in terms of speed, Discord and Telegram are definitely the best ways. And also in our Discord server, we have a ticketing system. So if there's anything confidential people wanted to discuss, then we'd open it up, and only the team members and our ambassadors would be able to see those messages. So whether that was bridging funds or getting funds into our D app, if anyone needed particular support there, then that is we're happy to do everything we can to help people there.
Awesome. And I'm a little partial to Discord myself. Obviously, Cryptonaires is a information-based Discord channel, so I do think that is the best platform. And if we did a little bit of research, we would know that Discord right now is probably the hottest platform for socializing about cryptocurrency and digital innovation. So I am partial to the Discord channels as well. I do want to get back into talking about the different ways to earn and take part or be part of Weave. And we briefly talked about Weave Pro, but I want to break it down so our viewers can understand exactly what it is. My understanding of Weave Pro is that if I decide to create maybe like a Weave Pro profile where people can see exactly how I'm investing into certain DeFi projects, other people can follow that. Now, is this something that other people are going to have to do themselves? Are they going to say, hey, I want to follow Grant Matic, and I see that he's invested in A, B, C, and D. Now I'm going to go do the same allocation, A, B, C, and D? Or is it something that they're going to be able to click on, say, my profile, and a smart contract is already going to allocate their holdings or however much they decide to invest into what I'm doing? Is that my understanding of how it would work?
Yeah, that's right. So in theory, on our dashboard on the passive side, users would be able to go in and just select the strategies they want, select the amount they want to put into it, and in theory that should be everything that they need to complete there to get their strategy up and running. That's how that will work for sure.
Now, I read on the website that that you guys don't have access to like the MetaMask wallet per se, right? So you don't necessarily have access to the funds from that. How exactly does that work in terms of a smart contract as far as investing? Do I have to put money into your platform? Do I have to, kind of like with the staking right now, I've staked my BUSD. Now, do I have to say I'm going to put X amount of dollars into the platform, and now that is what I'm going to use to follow the Weave Pro, who I've decided that's the person that I'm going to follow their investment strategy?
So I guess to explain some differences between I guess the current generation of yield farming and also compounding sites out there, how they work is basically if I use Auto Farm as an example, when you put your money in, that's joining a big pool of money, and that will all be getting compounded at whatever interval they set that at. And that's and we're slightly different there because when the passive users interact with our D app, initially what they'll be doing is they'll be depositing their money into a smart contract. So we have no access to that. That's all down to the security of our code, and the user will be able to choose whatever amount they put into that, as I said. That really helps the security there as well. And I mentioned also earlier that the partitioning as well. The fact that there's going to be a smart contract for every strategy is very beneficial to the user, because if someone did want to be malicious, then it would take a lot more effort to do something like that with our platform.
there's in the white paper, on top of Weave Pro, on top of Weave Passive, there is also additional ways to earn Weave, and in it's I believe it's titled "The 5 Ways to Earn." Can we discuss the 5 ways to earn the Weave?
Yeah, sure. So there should be the capital growth on the Weave token. So we've got a deflationary model there, and potential use cases that we're discussing internally. So I guess with that, we're thinking about adding extra features. If, for example, you would you purchase Weave tokens to access those features, so that could be something like getting phone or email notifications, when something happens with your strategy, or something like promoting your strategy and needing Weave to do that, to boost it on our site. None of these are formalized yet, but there's some further ideas of use cases there. We've got the daily token rewards as well, paid to wallets on a weekly basis, and we will enable auto staking there as well. And then so for the users who are with us for a long amount of time, we don't just want to hand out the normal rewards to them. So what we're looking at doing there is giving them milestone bonuses at regular intervals, so at 3 months, 6 months, and then a year, and then 2 years. Each time that happens, you get a slightly higher multiplier on your staking rewards as well. And the fourth way is you've got the redistribution. Whenever anyone sells Weave tokens, you would get 5% you'd lose when you sell a Weave token, and 3% of that 5% will go to the people that are still holding the token, and that will be added to the weekly bonus pool. And then just for clarity as well, where that other 2% goes there, so 1% will go to the team treasury and 1% will be burnt. So that's another thing that should help the capital growth of the token. And then so 5% of platform net profits will be used to buy back Weave tokens, and then we'll distribute these to stakers on a monthly basis. I think that's all the 5 ways. I'm glad that I've got it. Thank you.
Awesome. And speaking of the team treasury, is that locked? Is that going to be locked for a set amount of time? And if so, how long?
Our token rewards will be they'll be released, I believe. I think exact details are in the white paper as well, but we've got that on I think it's 6 months, 12 months. Gradually we are able to unlock an allocation of our tokens, but for the full time frame for that unlocking is about 2 years, I believe. But of course, we're not going to be looking to sell our tokens really for any reason. I don't think over that time period, we have of course an inherent we really want to see the platform succeed. So I think that would be really helpful as well. That's really beneficial for sure. So also for the milestone bonuses, we do have a seed investor who's basically paying for the early development of the platform, and he's anonymous, but that money is really, really useful. And in exchange for that money, he got a share of our investors' allocation for our tokens, and that will not include any milestone bonuses. So I think that shows our commitment there to the community, and the real value we see in users coming towards our platform.
And I think that's really big, because I think as people dig into the white paper and those on the more technical side, that would be a question that would have come up as far as seeing that maybe the seed investors lock time also aligns with the milestone bonuses. So that's very good to hear that that it's not something that either way, I think it would be okay, but just being transparent about how we go, being transparent about how the seed investor is rewarded for being a seed investor. Are they going to be able to double up? And was it specifically written that way to kind of okey doke people? And to hear that it wasn't written that way to do that, I think also brings more integrity to Weave itself. So that's really exciting to hear. And I know it's something that we talked about, just prior to this as well. Speaking of the Weave token, we talked a little bit prior to this. In the white paper, there isn't much written about its use case other than earning it. Can you explain, if at all, the use case for Weave moving forward as the platform begins to grow? How is it going to retain any value if it's always just given away as a reward, and there's no buying and selling?
Yeah, so we're definitely aware that as the platform develops, and hopefully we see the TVL, the total value of lots, increase as we move forwards, that we want the Weave token to go with this. And with that in mind, we are using a factor with the Weave token in terms of a use case that you'll be able to reduce your platform fees based on how many Weave tokens you have staked. The exact amount for each of those hasn't been decided yet, but we're going to be looking at tried and tested methods, such as the method Binance use on their site. They have different tiers, and I think they that kind of increases quite a lot with each tier. But ultimately the people who have that largest amount staked they're reaping the rewards from that. And of course, we've seen that in the last 6 months at least, haven't we? A little bit longer now. It's this year's gone so quickly. But also we'll be looking at people that have the token. And again, we're not completely sure on how this will work yet, but basically if people hold an amount of our token, then they'll be able to help us make some decisions. So with governance, so it won't be a DAO, but we will be thinking about strategic decisions and making sure the community has a say there. And beyond just looking at our Discord server, so if you look at our Telegram, you'll see that we are very open to suggestions from people, and we really want to get everyone involved as much as we can. But I think the strategic decision governance is another thing there that's really, really beneficial to people. And just to add there as well with the use case, those use cases, I'm going to mention some more in a little bit, potential that they're considering for the future bringing in. But hopefully the use case in line with the deflationary tokenomics will be really beneficial for the token. But so some other ideas, and I did mention some previously. So things like staking our token to receive strategy updates more regularly, and we see that being really helpful for the people who perhaps can't be on our site all the time, but really want to just know what's going on in the background. So things like boosting your strategy if you want it to appear on our front page, for example, or at the top of the page. I'm just reading a few off the spreadsheet that we discussed this literally just yesterday with our team. We see it as really important to get some ideas out there and to start the development team working on it. Another one, so for example, secret channels for people who have a certain amount of Weave staked. That's another idea we've got. Perhaps like a membership scheme. That's something we're looking at. I know that some projects have done this, and I think it's a lot of these ideas that have been implemented with other projects. It was implemented too late as well. So we're definitely aware that we need to think about implementing all of these schemes at the right time, and kind of prioritize the ones that will be most beneficial to our early community members and the people who join our platform in the near future. I feel like I should say one more, so I'll just look for another one on this list. So we also, we thought about, I guess in line with that membership scheme, sort of benefits of that being like a higher multiplier, for example, on some bolts if they choose that. So yeah, hopefully that's kind of opened your eyes to what we're seeing the use cases longer term being with the token. But yeah, as always, people that are live on our and active on our comms channels, like we're really open to any ideas you guys have, and if we see those contributions, we are going to reward for that for sure.
Absolutely, and I do want to say that when our team, the Cryptonaires team, initially met with your team as well, you guys are very receptive to feedback, because I believe, not to get into too much detail, our team had given some feedback and those changes were made. So I just wanted to share with the community out there that you guys are absolutely receptive to feedback, and you will follow up as you can, apply those things if it's necessary or if it's able to be done. But you brought up one thing, excuse me, about the token itself and the allocation. And this isn't going to be a DAO, but you are going to have a multisig on your wallet. Can you explain the reasoning behind having a multisig on your wallet and kind of the details in that?
Yeah, of course. So for the wallet addresses that hold both the Weave tokens, we've not yet distributed to the contracts, and also our treasury, so the Weave treasury. We are, we've got a multi-sig wallet in place. So the three co-founders are the signatories that are in place on those wallets. And yeah, for those wallets, we decided to go with a 2 out of 3 approval required for each transaction. So one person would initiate the transaction, and then the next person would confirm that, and then the funds would get sent to whatever wallet was selected. And the reason we chose 2 out of 3 rather than 3 out of 3 there was because we're aware that there's a small risk that if someone misplaces their private key or loses their private key for the wallet associated with the multi-sig wallet, then if that was 3 out of 3 approvals required, then we wouldn't be able to access those funds, and we'd be in a very sticky situation if that occurred. So that's why we've enabled the 2 out of 3, because then if that does happen, then we're still okay, and we could then move it to another place if required. But we'd still be able to pay our team members and our community members who are in our community role scheme higher up.
Awesome. Have you guys thought about maybe bringing in a third party as a multi-sig and increasing the amount of signatures that you need just for more security? Or do you plan on remaining at 2 out of 3?
I think, it's a very good question. So I know we have discussed this, but at this stage, definitely keeping it at 2 out of 3 is the best for us, we feel, because it means that also, when we're looking to pay people or send funds to various places, that we can be pretty quick and responsive with that. And given the nature and the speed of the development that we're currently doing, that's definitely massively beneficial for the project and for the launch as well.
Awesome. And just wrapping up here, what's next on the roadmap? What's next? What can we expect from Weave tomorrow, a month from now, Q1 of 2022? What's next to be released from you guys?
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned it a few times during the call, but partnerships are really important to us. So yeah, we really want to get those formatted on and created on the chains that we're going to be launching on. So our 2 launch chains are BSC and Polygon, but then after that we will be going for OEC, which we announced a few days ago, and then some other chains as well in the very near future. And look at our partners on our site, and you'll be able to work out what direction we're going in there. But with those partnerships, we'll be looking to get more formal partnerships with protocols so we can do co-marketing. And we really want to make sure that our TVL isn't just based in certain markets. So for example, a lot of the visible team is European and American. But we're also aware that there's money all around the world, and also to provide access to our product for people in developing countries. That's really important to us, especially to me. I just love the transparency that the blockchain gives. And yeah, so slightly longer term with those partnerships, we're hoping that we'll kind of get a snowball effect going there with relationships with other people and projects, and then move forwards to cross chain, and then ultimately I guess the longer term aims. Now these are still open for discussion, but we know that in a lot of cultures around the world, so for example in Korea, it seems that the older generations who have often quite a large amount of wealth, they don't know really what to do with that, but they trust, say, brokers to do their financial investing for them. And we'd love to be able to facilitate brokerages and independent financial advisors and onboarding them onto our platform and recommending pro strategies. Because I think someone if someone's on our platform on the pro side now, then they're going to be able to hopefully take quite a lot away from this in a year or two's time and beyond that. And I think that's such an exciting thing for our platform, the fact that longer term we're going to be having so many potential use cases and so many different markets that we're aiming to be active in. And I think that's kind of a good long-term view without saying too much and without definitely confirming everything. But that's the direction that the team is looking in at the moment.
And I think even just talking with you today, I have some ideas of my own that I want to share with my team, and I'm sure we'll be in discussions again. Obviously being partners and being part of your platform, I think can be extremely beneficial for both of us. And just the ideas that I have, we'll have to take off air, if you will. But it definitely, this conversation has sparked some things. What I would like to do is every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have a show around the clock where we have two of our finest individuals at Cryptonaires who do a podcast live on YouTube. I would like to bring you back at some point on that show to talk about, whether it's in Q1 next year or as things start to get released. I'd like to bring you back and have the ladies kind of talk to you on the show about what's next, right? Like how we're moving forward, and are we hitting the targets of the roadmap? So far, it appears you're hitting every target of the roadmap. But I think it would be really neat to bring you back and touch base again. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I think from the chat we've had today, it's been really beneficial because I feel the conversation most of the time has been quite fluid, and there's been some tough questions in there, but really important ones that we need to think about. So yeah, definitely love to be more involved in the future as well. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And the reason we ask the tough questions is we want people, obviously to do their own research, and we don't provide financial advice, but we want to try to get all the information out there. And although we're partners, we're not endorsing a product and telling people, hey, go invest in this, go do this just because we say so. We want to bring out all the information that we possibly can. We want people to do their own research, and we're not providing financial advice. We're just providing the information for them to make the best decision that is right for them. So I appreciate you answering the hard questions. And hopefully I didn't put you on your heels too much with our questioning today, but it is important for our community, and it's important for anybody who watches this moving forward, that those questions get answered. And just you showing your transparency, being available on whether it's Telegram or Discord. Again, we're partial to Discord. I know you like Discord, and even on Twitter and the social media platforms. Just being able to be contacted and answering those questions will truly help, I believe, with this project moving forward. So I thank you very much for joining today. And when everyone gets an opportunity, please check out weave.financial, check out cryptonaires.com, and let's move forward in crypto together. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you for your time. It's been really good.
Thank you.